George Lengthorn was born sleeping at 22 weeks.
George was a baby. He only weighed a pound when he was born, but he had blonde hair, big feet, like me. He was a fully formed baby. We got to dress him and bathe him and photograph him and cuddle him. And yeah, but for anyone going through an experience of birth, it's terrifying anyway, especially the first time. But to know that you're going through a birth and that your baby's not going to survive is horrendous.
Because George was born at 24 weeks, Keeley was not entitled to paid miscarriage leave. Luckily, the law firm she works for allowed her 6 weeks off to grieve, but Keeley was aware that other parents were not in the same fortunate position.
The law says you go back to work at 9 o'clock the next day. So for instance, I left George at the mortuary on a Thursday night, and the law says that I go back to work at 9 o'clock the next day. There's no way I could have done that. I just physically had a baby. Mentally, I was grieving the loss of my son. I don't know how anyone in their right mind would think that it's okay to say to someone, go back to work the next day, you'll be all right. Or take it as sick leave. But this isn't sick leave. It isn't sick leave, it is an annual leave.
Keeley is now campaigning for a change in the law, which would give a statutory 3 days of paid miscarriage leave for a loss at any time in the pregnancy. She's calling it George's Law.
We are now in 2023 where all we talk about is well-being and equality and diversity. But I don't see how any firm can say that they promote equality and diversity if they haven't got a baby loss policy in place.
1 in 4 pregnancies end in miscarriage. Under current legislation, workers are entitled to 2 weeks of paid bereavement leave following a stillbirth after 24 weeks of pregnancy. But for parents who experience a loss after less than 24 weeks, they must rely on either unpaid or sick leave if they feel unable to return to work after a loss. Ruth Bender-Attic is the director of the Miscarriage Association.
Yes, we do support the bill, and we support it strongly, and we've been talking with Angela Crawley about it for quite some time. First of all, they'd have at least a little bit of time to begin to recover from the kind of physical and emotional impact of miscarriage or ectopic pregnancy. It would really go a long way in recognising and acknowledging even these tiniest of lives, which for most people, the minute they have a positive pregnancy test, they're already thinking and planning and dreaming about.
We asked the government to respond to this call for George's Law, but nobody was available for interview. They gave us this statement. Miscarriage is a very personal experience, and some of those affected may want to stay at home, while others may prefer to continue to work or alternatively may need time off later. The government believes that individuals are best placed to understand their own specific needs, and good employers will respond to requests made by their employees in a sensitive way. Keeley says she will still continue to fight for George's Law. Ellie Costello, GB News.